Hello, good morning, everybody. It's just Sabina with another video. Today, I would like to talk more about breathing because we do it all the time, but most of the time, we're not even aware of how we breathe. And I'm just reading this fascinating book, which is called Breath by James Nestor. And it's just fascinating, how all our breathing problems, how they came into being. The Neanderthals, they apparently had a much larger skull, so they had wider openings between the back of the nose and the throat. So there was no issue with any sort of nasal or sinus congestion. It wasn't possible because of the wider openings, but the problem was they had smaller brains. So as our brain was expanding, it just like pushed forward and squashed everything in the front of our face. So that's why we can easily have problems with congestion, and especially at this time of the year, we're going into spring. Everything's melting, all the winter fats that we've stored to keep us insulated and warm are now all released into the bloodstream and the lymph. And whatever we eat can have a massive impact on our nasal, the flow of our breath, and on our sinuses. We can produce more mucus this time of year, and that can cause a lot of congestion, not just in the face and the nose and sinuses, but also in the lungs. So just to be aware of this. And are you aware of how you're breathing most of the time? Are you breathing through the mouth, or are you breathing through the nose? That makes a massive difference to your health and well-being. It's amazing what it can do if you changed the way you breathe most of the time, because of course we still need to do some mouth breathing from time to time. But when we switch to nose breathing, we can, according to this research, reverse all health conditions. We can lower our blood pressure, we can make the blood flow much more easily. We expand our lung capacity through nose breathing. It feels counterintuitive, but actually breathing through the nose when you are exercising gives you more oxygen than when you breathe through your mouth when you're running like this. It also, when you're breathing, it helps relieve the heaviness in the chest. And I know how heavy my chest was, felt when I lost Kevin. So it was like a huge rock dragging me down to the ground. So it can help release that heaviness, open up the chest, which is really important to give the lungs the ability to expand, not just the capacity to fill it with oxygen. It also improves our digestion. Just breathing through the nose calms us down, and that improves our digestion, because when we are calm, we have more blood flowing into the stomach, and that helps break down the food better, and so on and so forth. And it also helps, of course, reduce stress and anxiety. I don't think I need to mention that. When you're very anxious, I think you may also be breathing through your mouth more because you're anxious that you're not getting enough air in, maybe, especially when you're grieving. It's just like this heaviness can really make us feel like we are running out of air easily. So I know that it's not something you can do from one day to the other. It takes conscious awareness of the way you're breathing. And of course, if your nostril passes, your nose is congested, you need to do something about this. But as this guy did, he did an experiment. He actually blocked off both of the nostrils for, I think, about 10 days and only did mouth breathing, and it just like caused all sorts of problems, really. Like his sleep went out of the window. He couldn't sleep. He actually got sleep apnea, which is when we stop breathing for a moment or two. in our sleep, and not just once a night. So mouth breathing is just so detrimental for our health. And when, of course, when the props came out, there was all sorts of congestion here, but he got rid of it again, and then they did the experiment the other way around, just breathing through the nostrils, and his health improved massively. And it was not only him who did this experiment. There were two people doing it at the same time, and they were tested. The heart rate and blood pressure and all the vitals were taken, and the improvement, through nostril breathing was immense. So when you have any sort of congestion, the best thing I found to do is inhaling. Like just have a pot of boiling hot water, put a towel over your head. That's an old German remedy that I learned as a child, and it helped me massively when I came back from India and had all this congestion here because I got some sort of virus or just cold during the last few days when the temperatures were just like varying too much. And I had so much mucus production, and I had to inhale like 3-4 times a day to get rid of all this mucus. So that's a really good remedy. And then you can also use a steam inhaler. You can use neti pods, which are a little bit trickier. But just gradually increase the amount of nose breathing you're doing. It doesn't if you can't unblock your nose in one go, just keep going at it. You can also mouth tape your mouth, but just like a little bit, put it in front of the front of your mouth, and keep the lips together to make you breathe through your nose more automatically, that you just don't need to think about it too much, especially when you're sleeping. You can do it for, build it up for 5 minutes and then take it off again, and then 10 minutes, and you will find that you are getting better at nose breathing as you go along. So don't give up and say, oh no, I can't do it because my nostrils are blocked. You can unblock them. There are ways, and the health benefits are phenomenal. So that's an easy thing we can do. Breathing doesn't cost anything apart from the time you put in. It's so much worth the effort and the time you put into it, and a free gift from nature, which we're not using at all, many of us. And I've become more and more aware of when I'm actually mouth breathing. When I'm cycling, it's counterintuitive to keep your mouth shut and breathe through your nose. But again, in this book, it mentioned somebody who was working with athletes. And when the whole team, started nose breathing instead of mouth breathing during a running competition, they didn't need oxygen after the competition. It was just like amazing. And so many other examples. Really recommend this book, and really recommend becoming more aware of, whether you're mouth breathing, especially in your sleep, and try to change it to nose breathing, and take put a mouth tape over your mouth to help you keep your lips shut, and see how you feel, how nose breathing makes you feel. That will help you, to keep you going. So anyway, this was it from me today. I hope I've given you a lot of good pointers why nose breathing can help you, and why it's maybe so beneficial for you as well. And take care. Bye bye.